Are you supporting somebody during a birth and wondering how you can be the best birth partner ever? Watch this video because we're going to go over some actionable tips to help you better be a birth partner. Welcome to the MamasteFit YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be breaking down how you can be a better birth partner during pregnancy, during the actual labor, and then how you can help support in the postpartum period. My name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula and mom of 4. So my husband has been my birth partner 4 times now. And so with my experience as a birth doula and then my own personal experience, I'm going to be sharing what you can do as a birth partner to help support your expecting partner. If you want more tips like this on how you can enhance your support as a birth partner and then also prepare for birth, be sure to subscribe to our channel where we share tons of tips on pregnancy, birth, and recovery in the postpartum period. So let's start with what is a birth partner in case that is confusing for you. So a birth partner is anybody that is supporting somebody during their pregnancy, their birth, and in the postpartum. And this is going to be the primary emotional support person for that person. So typically like their partner, their spouse, their significant other. And so for me, my birth partner was my husband. He was my primary support person throughout my pregnancy, birth, and beyond. Let's start with pregnancy. What can you as a birth partner do to enhance your support throughout pregnancy? The first thing is to prepare with your partner. This pregnancy is also yours as well. So can you attend prenatal appointments, reading the books that they give you, watching the reels that they send you, and taking a childbirth education course together can be incredibly beneficial for preparing for birth together. In a childbirth education course, you should learn comfort measures, which is a key thing that birth partners can do to help support during the actual labor. And so this is where you're going to learn like counter pressure, massage techniques, how to use a TENS or the shower, how you can use warm compresses, cool washcloth. And so you can learn all of these comfort techniques so that you can enhance your support during the actual labor. You'll also learn some laboring positions and how to utilize those laboring positions. And then you should hopefully also learn how to support with pushing, which is a time during labor that a lot of folks feel a little bit more anxiety. And so a childbirth education course should teach you what to expect during labor and how you can better support as a partner. We have an online childbirth education course that also educates the partner on what to do, so you can check it out at MamasteFit.com if you're interested in a comprehensive course to teach you the science of birth with tangible tools to help you be a better birth partner. You can also look at hiring a birth doula to help support you throughout your pregnancy and your labor, and there's a lot of different ones out there, so you can interview different options, but ultimately a doula does not replace you as a birth partner. I tell all of my clients who are interviewing me, and usually the biggest concern is, are you going to replace me? Like, I want to be a big part of this birth. And I usually say, no, I'm not going to replace you. There's no way that I could ever compete with the relationship that you and your partner have. And I would hope that I wouldn't be able to compete with that relationship. And so what I am there to do as a doula is to enhance your support. I'm there to give you all of the answers to the test. And so I want your partner to look back on the labor and just think about how amazing you were thanks to my background help. However, it's a little unreasonable to expect that you would know everything about birth just from taking a childbirth education course, and this is where a doula can be really helpful. They have the professional experience of supporting birth while you have the emotional experience of being a partner to your expecting partner, and so you can combine forces to provide the best support possible. Another thing that you can do during pregnancy to support your partner is to be familiar with their birth plan. What do they want to happen during their labor, and how can you best support that? It's important to understand what their preferences are for different interventions, whether or not they want to get an epidural, what kind of monitoring options they work. So sit down and go over the birth plan so that you know what to advocate for and what to ask for. It can also be helpful for you to be familiar with the birth plan at prenatal appointments because your partner may forget questions that they had on. And so you may know, hey, they really want this type of monitoring during their labor. I'm not totally sure what that is. And so at your appointment, you can ask the provider about it. Hey, they're interested in this type of monitoring. Is that available? How do we get that? What can we do instead if that option is not available? And so being familiar with their birth plan is going to help you be a better advocate as well. And the last thing you do during pregnancy to prepare for birth is to pack your bag. Pack your hospital bag. Don't wait for your partner to do it for you. Take a look online, just Google hospital packing list, And then start coming up with different things. You can also help them pack their bag as well so that you're familiar where things are, so that during labor, if they need something specific, or during the postpartum, if they need something specific, you know where it is. And so during pregnancy, it is your pregnancy too. So prepare with your partner. Read the books, watch the reels, take the courses together. If you can, hire a doula to be your labor coach and your labor buddy to give you kind of all of the answers to the tests so that you can be better support. Pack your hospital bag and then be super familiar with their birth plan and kind of help with the logistical setup of preparing for birth. When it comes to actual labor, my number one tip is to be present. So be physically and mentally present for your partner. Try to minimize how much you're on your phone. For a lot of partners, they're the primary communicators with people outside of the hospital room. So parents, siblings, family members, friends, try to minimize that as much as possible because it can get really distracting if you're constantly having to text updates to everybody. Try to keep that to a minimum as you can. Any work-related tasks that you have to do, try to finish up before labor gets going or do it at the very beginning, but try to limit any sort of work-related tasks during labor as much as possible. We're also not going to play on our Xbox or scroll on social media, so try to minimize the external entertainment and just focus on your partner. It can also be helpful during pregnancy to kind of have a list of things that you need to do during labor. And so this was something that I set up for my husband where I let him know like what kind of tasks I needed to be accomplished during labor. So I gave him the midwife's number, I gave him our birth photographer's phone number, he knew our doula's number. So he knew who to contact when, he knew where certain supplies were, we got those set up, and I kind of let him know like what I needed done for our birth so that he had a checklist for when labor actually began. And so this allowed him to kind of take care of all those tasks as quickly as possible so that he can be really present for me during the birth. Because you are your partner's primary support person, you're also going to be probably the most emotionally connected to them. And so it's going to be really important that you know some positive affirmations or verbal phrases that feel familiar and genuine to you to share with them. Like, I'm really proud of you. I love you so much. Usually I find that labor is one of the most bonding experiences for couples. And so just being emotionally vulnerable with your partner can be really beneficial during labor as well. One of the biggest and potentially easiest things that you can do as a partner is to provide physical support and comfort during labor. This includes being physically supportive during laboring positions, so allowing them to hang on you, helping them into different positions. This includes providing comfort measures such as counter pressure, massage techniques, helping them get in and out of the shower, going into the shower with them, helping them get in and out of the tub. And so providing all of these different comfort measures, in addition to helping with like the different props within the labor room. So the peanut ball, the birth ball, the squat bar for the bed, adjusting the bed. So there's a lot of things that you can be physically doing as a partner. And I typically find that these tangible things are much easier for partners to do. And so you can have like a whole checklist. We have a labor position guide that includes comfort measures as well, that incorporates what different labor positions are, when to do these different labor positions, what type of comfort measures that you could do. And so you could just have a list of things that your partner likes, a list of things that they've prepared. So massage tools, a TENS unit, washcloths, aromatherapy, a Bluetooth speaker with music. And so you could just have a list of things that they want to explore, know where it is in the bat, and set that up for them during the labor. And so you can play a big role in addition to providing physical support with physically setting up the space as well. So we have our music playing, we have aromatherapy, the lights are dim, there's quiet voices, soft music, in addition to setting up the physical props around the room as well. If you're not sure where certain things are, such as a stool, a peanut ball, a birth ball, or how to put the squat bar onto the bed, ask your labor nurse. They'll be able to guide you with how to utilize these different tools, and then also how to call for help if you need some assistance with anything. And that because you should be really familiar with the birth plan from pregnancy, you are also going to be your partner's biggest advocate in the labor room. And so you can be the primary communicator between your family and the medical staff. But because you may not be familiar with medical terminology or what is okay or not okay, what I would focus on is how is your partner feeling? If your partner is feeling more anxious in the moment, it can be beneficial to pause and ask more questions from the medical staff before progressing to the next intervention or the next step of care. If your partner communicates that they're feeling content and very safe in the space, then there's probably less questions that we need to ask and we can continue with our care. So you may not know exactly what is going on medically, but you do know how your partner is feeling, and so you can focus on that instead. If they feel anxious or scared, ask more questions, get more clarity until they feel more confident to make a decision. So during the labor, being present, both physically and mentally, is going to be really important. So minimize time on your phone and on electronics and focus on your partner as much as you can. You are also going to be the primary communicator for your partner, both for people outside the labor room and people within the labor room. So being mindful of how that communication is happening can be really beneficial. Either minimizing communication outside of the room, and then also focusing on how your partner is feeling to determine how much communication needs to happen within the room can be really beneficial. Your big role is going to be providing a lot of physical support with comfort measures, laboring positions, and also setting up the labor room. And so having a Bluetooth speaker, aromatherapy, dimming the lights, in addition to setting up the space with like the birth ball, the tub, the squat bar, any sort of additional attachments. And you can ask your labor nurse for assistance with any of these things as well. Now, when it comes to the postpartum, this is where things get a little confusing because there's a lot of things happening and you have a new person that you have to take care of. Helping with that initial skin to skin can be really beneficial after the baby is born. And so if your partner is wearing any sort of gown, helping them to take it off so the baby can come directly to their chest. If for whatever reason your partner cannot do skin to skin, you can be the next best candidate. So bringing your baby directly to skin can be super beneficial. If for whatever reason your partner is not able to hold the baby initially after birth, maybe they had a general anesthesia C-section or they don't feel physically capable to hold the baby, be sure that nobody else holds the baby until they do. So you can hold the baby, but don't let your sister-in-law hold the baby or your mother or mother-in-law hold the baby. Wait for her to be able to hold the baby instead. Now, for whatever reason, there is a delay between the time that the baby can come to your partner's chest and they can hold the baby. Ensure that the only other person holding the baby is you. So if her sister or her mom are in the labor room and they're waiting to hold the baby, ensure that nobody else holds the baby besides you until they can. After skin to skin, you can also help your partner with breastfeeding. And so you can help with positioning, you can help with that initial latch. You can ask the lactation consultant or labor nurse to show you how you can support with breastfeeding. You can help keep them hydrated. You can give them snacks. You can bring them the things that they need because breastfeeding an infant is a lot of different hand movements happening at the same time, and it can be really challenging. So providing a lot of external support can be really beneficial. And then the first few weeks postpartum are physically challenging. We are healing not only from pregnancy, but the trauma of birth, whether your partner had a vaginal birth or a cesarean birth. So providing a lot of support as you can will be incredibly beneficial. So cooking the meals or coordinating for meals, bringing them water, bringing them snacks, taking care of external things within the home. So you take care of all the household tasks, you handle all the appointments, you walk the pets, manage the children, or seek additional help as well. And then there is some emotional support that needs to happen in the postpartum. The postpartum period has a ton of hormones that are happening, and there can be this thing called baby blues that happens after the baby is born, where it's like lots of crying, maybe anger, just a lot of emotion that's happening at once. And there's a lot of things that your partner is probably processing, helping to validate things that they are feeling, listening to them, comforting them are going to be really important in that postpartum phase as they kind of work through these things that are happening. If you're noticing that baby blues seems to be extending longer postpartum, your partner may be experiencing postpartum anxiety, OCD, depression, or even postpartum psychosis, it can be really beneficial to encourage them to work with a mental health specialist. Now, if your partner seems that they are progressing towards postpartum psychosis where they're expressing anything about harming themselves or the baby, bring them to the ER immediately. But the postpartum timeframe can be a lot of emotions and processing the labor, entering into motherhood, figuring out this new identity, caring for this baby. And there's lots of hormones that are kind of flooding our bodies at this time. And so being emotionally present, listening with compassion, and encouraging them can be really beneficial in this time. And so those are my top recommendations to help you be the best birth partner that you can be. During pregnancy, remember that it is your pregnancy too. So prepare with them. Be a part of this process. Attend the appointments, attend the classes, and if you need, hire a doula. During labor, same thing. Be present. Be a part of the experience. Try to minimize the electronics and external distractions and focus on your partner. Focus on how they are feeling, and that is really going to help you better to communicate with the medical staff. When it comes to the postpartum, again, be present, be emotionally available for them as they are navigating this new phase of life. In our online childbirth education course, we offer a lot of support for you as a birth partner to help support during the pregnancy and the postpartum. And then we do have a postpartum education course on what to expect in the postpartum phase so that you can better support your partner after birth as well. You can check out all of our courses on our website at MamasteFit.com and use code YouTube10 to get 10% off any of our online offerings. And you can bundle childbirth education with prenatal fitness, and so your partner can move confidently throughout their pregnancy so they can feel more comfortable, they can prepare for labor, and help them recover in the postpartum. So check out all of our courses and fitness programs on our website at MamasteFit.com. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you are the best birth partner that you can be.